Yes, welcome, five fans. This is Red Corner Boxing. I'm Mr. Neutral, and this is our series, Mr. Neutral Meets. And for our inaugural series, stateside, I've got the one and only Mr. Bernard Hackett, the father of Jalil Major Hackett, the great US prospect. But, he's been in the news recently. Obviously, his fight had to be cancelled. There's a lot of questions that people have asked, the boxing community in particular, and I'll be throwing out a few questions from them, giving them a shout out at the same time. But Bernard, thank you for giving us your time today, mate. I know you're a busy man. But look, the last time we spoke, you're on my show last year, just before the Pete Dobson fight, after Adrian Gutierrez, when he signed with Matchroom. And we talked about his development and where you're at now. So things have happened since then for Jalil. Just tell me how Jalil's feeling right now. Obviously, the team RHC, you must feel frustrated at the injury, but these things happen. But how are you all feeling right now?
Jalil is in good spirits. He's not really one to get down and be upset about something. He understands the game. He understands life. Things come up. You have to overcome them. And I think he's taking it well, and he's taking it way better than I expect someone of 21 to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to shout out my first question to you from the fans, Bernard, WCS Combat Boxing. He's asked, and I've got a pretty good idea, but I want you to tell the fans what caused the injury so near the fight, and and how severe was the sort of the consequences of actually trying to fight with that injury.
The injury was caused the day. Well, if you watch the press conference, Jalil wanted to wear a tank top to the press conference so he could let everybody see he was ready to fight. We had to get off about 4 pounds. So we went to the gym after the press conference to the LA Fitness in Orlando. And he likes to do the treadmill and the sauna. He likes to go back and forth. And while he was doing that process of back and forth, he actually fell coming out of the sauna in some water and twisted his ankle. It made it swell up real bad.
Yeah, slippery when wet. Obviously, accidents happen like that. I mean, so unfortunate. I mean, mate, I've been through 2 ankle operations myself, and I know that agony and the fact that where the ankle swells so much, you're off your feet for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on the severity of the ankle. Now, is there any ligament damage that you guys know about that's going to hinder him moving forward?
We went to the hospital in Orlando, and then we went to the hospital when we got back home. He saw an orthopedist when he got home. The orthopedist said there was no break, there was no ligament damage. It was just a lot of swelling. And once the swelling goes down, we'll go through the physical therapy that they have scheduled for him, so he can get that full range of motion from having that swelling going on. And we'll be back. It'll be nothing that hinders him from performing in the future.
Now, he's as you say, he's quite a level-headed young man. As when we spoke about him before, very highly intelligent, gone through school rapidly, achieving all his grades and all the rest of it. How frustrating is it for him to having to put his feet up and not be? Oh, excuse me a minute. For Jesus Christ! Just a minute, Jalil. I'll find this. Yeah. So, how frustrating is it? He's having to put his feet up and just wait for this injury to go by. And in the meantime, is the fight that you wanted to make, is that still going to be made at some point by Matchroom on your behalf?
From my understanding, that's still going to be our next fight. We don't want to fight anybody else but Jose Roman. I think his team is in the same mindset, and we both have the same reasons for it. One, I feel if we weren't in Puerto Rico, Jalil would have got the win and we would have moved on. And I think they may feel that there may be some lingering doubt on people that the only reason you got the win because it was in Puerto Rico, so they want to fight us. So I think both parties still want to fight each other. I know we
Absolutely.
do.
And how aggrieved were you by that result in Puerto Rico? Because from where I was standing, I had my man winning. What happened in your eyes?
For me, I want Jalil to close any door that's open, and the door is open for a reason that people have any doubt. You know, I always turn back to Floyd Mayweather. If anybody's been a Floyd fan and following him, when he fought Mandana, people thought that he may have lost. He won, but he said get him back in the ring immediately, and he got right back in the ring with Mandana. Both times Floyd had rematches, they were with people that he didn't lose to, but the perception in a few people's minds is that he may have lost, and he wanted to wipe that completely away. So we're in the same mindset. We just want to wipe any doubt that we lost to him. We want to wipe it completely away.
Now, the team at Matchroom, I believe I've heard you say before, they're very good at fighter health and, and looking out for you guys. Just how important has Matchroom been in this recovery process and the assurances that they've given yourself and Jalil? Don't know, guys, if we've lost Bernard there for a second, but he should be back any minute. Hopefully it's not me that's gone off. Are you there, Bernard?
Yeah, I'm there. I apologize.
Yeah.
I don't know
that's okay. These things happen.
My
Did you manage to hear what my last question?
Can you restate that question, please?
Yeah. How important is it to yourself and Jalil that Matchroom have been so good? I believe you've said they've been excellent in the treatment of Jalil, and what assurances have they given him moving forward?
Matchroom has been excellent when it comes to how they move Jalil, how they present stuff to us. They've been 100% professional. I cannot say enough about Matchroom and how they've done with us. The assurances they gave us, I think, were where they put their money where their mouth is, in the sense that our contract states clearly when we fight and all of those things. As times, some fighters get contracts and the contracts don't clearly state when they'll fight or anything. So Matchroom gave us a very clean contract, very good looking contract, and it was financially equitable for us. So, I can't complain about that. I've had people give me calls, or I've had people ask me be on podcasts, and they'll say, hey, how'd you feel when Eddie made the statement that he made after the Jose Roman fight? And I clearly stated that Eddie has the right to make his opinion on what he feels, but he didn't give us a call, say, we don't want to work with you. He didn't give us a call and say, we're dropping you from the roster. His call was, hey, what do you want to do next? And, the whole team has been great. Eddie's been great. Kevin Rooney's been great. Everything been up to par with them. At the end of the day, it's the promoter's job to get you fights. It's your job to win fights.
Absolutely. I mean, it's still good to know, and there is some environments within boxing where injuries then lead to long inactivities. But Eddie is. If you know Eddie, he's not one to keep boxers inactive, if he can help it. But now when you're looking to start in camp again?
Hopefully in the next maybe 2 weeks, we can get back. I know Jalil has to be in the boot for 10 days. And then after that, he'll start physical therapy. I think he has prescribed, a couple of weeks of physical therapy. But then, we'll be fully back into what we do. But Jalil's a warrior type. We'll tell him to do one thing and Jalil will do the other thing. So I know my son, we're going to tell him to take the strides needed in the time given. But I know him. Jalil's gonna work his hardest to get back as soon as possible. So he'll be back way before people realize.
Yeah, yeah. Now going back to the Roman fight, Jalil, is he giving you indicators? It's just to show you at least just how determined he is to reverse that decision in Puerto Rico. And what's the likelihood that this fight will be in the US?
I hope it's in the U.S. At the end of the day, we were going to be in Orlando. Hopefully, hopefully we can get it back, in the United States. But honestly, if not, we just want, only thing we want is a fair environment. It doesn't matter where it is, just as long as it's a fair environment. I felt a lot of things weren't fair in that last fight for my son. My son will never he'll never say anything. But to me, I'll take the blame for those things. We had 3 officials from Puerto Rico. We had a referee from Puerto Rico who refused to even acknowledge the continuous holding by Roman. So, hopefully just give us an even, unbiased situation, and we're going to come out on top. And if we get there, wherever the fight is, and we see that it's not an unbiased situation, we got to do what we got to do. No excuses. That's all we want to do is fight and do the best we can in the ring.
Now, Eddie is notorious for throwing boxers into really hard fights. He signs people based on that model, and should he overcome his next opponent, obviously the rematch with Roman, and get back on US soil, not necessarily for an advantage, but for a fair and level playing field, as you quite rightly said, who is going to be sort of thrown in next? Because if you look at some of the matchroom welterweights, there's some pretty tasty opponents within the stable that Eddie could throw at you. Would you be willing, you guys, to come to the UK and take on such a challenge with it being so early in Jalil's career?
Fighters fight for the big checks. You can't ask for the big checks if you're not going to fight big names. They're not giving you $1 million to fight a guy who's 3-27. They're not giving you $1 million to fight a guy who it hasn't proven to be a quality. So if you want that type of money, and I know my son wants that type of money, you got to fight $1 million fighters.
Absolutely. Now, I've got to ask you this one last question, Bernard. We will let you go. Should Turkey Al-Sheikh and TKO Dana White come knocking on the door for Jalil Hackett, is this something that Team RHC would consider moving forward? But taking into account just how highly some people rate Jalil.
I'm always say this. My son ultimately makes his final decision. Matchroom has been good with us as far as us moving, Jalil's career. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And if my son said he has to make the best business decision for him, I think Matchroom would make us an offer. And if Turkey and that team make us an offer and Jalil has to choose between a better offer, he has to do what's best for him. And I think that if Matchroom holds us as high esteem as I think Matchroom does, I think they would match any offer that somebody else wanted to offer to get him away. I think they would do it. But if they thought it wasn't the right business model for them, I would shake hands with Matchroom and thank him for everything. And we have to do what's best for us at the end of the day. Like I always say, promoters will do what's best for the promotion company. The fighter has to do what's best for the fighter. If our best align, then we're on the same side. If our best don't align, then I wish them all the best. I hope they wish us the best. And, hey, I thank everybody for what they do. At the end of the day, this is a business.
Bernard Hackett, father of Jalil Major Hackett. We can't wait to see Jalil back in action again to get that payback. I want to give a shout out to your fans across the pond, especially the new media who always talk about the latest topics. Let's include brunch boxing and Spit Bucket broadcast. There's a few
Man.
others I can name, but listen, all these guys, you know, we all in the same boat. We all want the best for you know, US box especially. That's Hard Talk USA, Bernard. That's where
Man.
Mr. Neutral's like hearts, and we want you to know that Red Corner Boxing is right behind Jalil Hackett, and we hope till he
Man,
gets
I
that
love to get
payback.
there. I would love for the fans to tell Eddie to bring us out there, even if it ain't to get a fight. You all got some great welterweights and some great junior middleweights that are from the UK. We'd love to come over and be able to train with some of those guys. So we hope the opportunity's open.
We hope to see you soon. I want to shout out to all the people in the chat, to Hawkan Ringside Live. Thank you for coming through. To Karma Serene, thank you, dear. Always a supporter. My name's Mr. Neutral. This has been Mr. Neutral Meets. That's been Bernard Hackett. Great interview. Thank you very much, sir. And we'll see you next time.
Anytime, sir.